I often find myself giving a lot more than I'm receiving and putting up with a lot more than I should. I had a very hard time early in life, and a few years ago, after finding out I was an empath and losing my mom, I found myself. I found my power, and I put up with a lot less than I used to. If I feel underappreciated, disrespected, if a person is two-faced, a liar, narcissistic, or just plain toxic, first I will warn them, but if they continue with the negative behavior, I will completely cut the person out of my life, blocking on social media, ignoring phone calls, whatever it takes. I'm a professional at the silent treatment. Sometimes I cut people out for good, but not always. I learned a long time ago that silence is powerful. If the person is a family member or a very close friend, and I see that the person is truly sorry after a while, I'll give them another chance. Most of the time, however, I don't, because it's hard for me to gain trust back after I've lost it. It's not something that I want to do. It's something I absolutely hate to do. But I know as long as I keep giving chances, the person will continue to take advantage of me. It means you've hurt me so much, I'm no longer investing any of my limited supply of energy to you. It means I've come to resent you. If you value me, don't let it get to this point. It's really hard to go back. Imagine my surprise when I found out this is something many INFJs do. We're kind of infamous for it. It's called the INFJ door slam. The INFJ door slam is a defense mechanism they use to protect themselves against harmful people and relationships. This may or may not involve actually cutting a person out of your life. Depending on the circumstances, a door slam can range from ignoring someone completely to limiting contact to a bare minimum to carrying on as normal from the other person's perspective. In the INFJ's mind, though, something has definitely changed. The decision to resort to a door slam is one of the hardest moments an INFJ will ever face. This is our last resort, our absolute limit. INFJs care very deeply and are very forgiving, but everyone has their limits. If we don't put a stop to it, they'll continue to hurt us because they know our hearts are huge and we love beyond limits. But we pay attention to the signs, and after giving chances and warnings, we basically say screw it. It may seem harsh, but it's also harsh to treat someone like crap, lie, cheat, etc. When we door slam someone, they usually deserve it. And I say usually because everyone is not the same. INFJs are introverts, which means they internally process much of what goes on around them. Therefore, if they do not feel emotionally safe with someone, they may not openly express what they're thinking or feeling. Instead, INFJs will figure things out in their own time, in their own way, and make decisions that may appear sudden and shock those around them. However, at an internal level, the decisions are far from sudden and are usually the result of days, weeks, or even years of deliberation. Before the action of shutting someone out of their lives occurs, the INFJs go through a very long stream of attempts to resolve the problems. They will most likely be emotional and putting their best effort into fixing the issue. They do not want to cut people from their lives, especially not someone they deeply care for. The INFJ often takes time to come to the decision that they must move on from a relationship. They take their commitments very seriously, wanting to build strong and lifelong connections. Because of this desire, the INFJ truly does not want to have to let go of their relationships. When the INFJ finally comes to the realization that they must move on, this looks nothing like the previously emotional state they were probably in. Once the INFJ has made the decision to shut someone out, they are very level-headed and rational. This may be frightening to people who are so used to seeing the warm and gentle INFJ. They often appear very collected and even cold when they're set on slamming the door on someone. They know what they have to do, and this often takes removing all emotions from their actions. They have to shut off from this person, almost as if they're dead to them. The INFJs considers the loss of a relationship much like a death, and they have already spent time mourning this loss. At this point, they're simply removing the final memories of the lost relationship. This is no longer the mourning period. The INFJ has completely come to terms with what has happened. If the INFJ is still emotional or upset, then there is hope to resolve the relationship. Once the door slam has happened, there's usually no going back. The INFJ has made the decision to move on, and to them, it's already done. Different INFJs with different life experiences and different beliefs on matters of reconciliation will respond to this differently. Some will be firm in their decision to keep the door locked, and some may even throw the key away. Others may fumble for the key, unlock the door, and open it just a crack. So what is this process like when the INFJ slams the door on someone in their lives? Stage 1, a second chance. INFJs believe in the goodness of humanity, so we will initially look for the good in someone, and they will try to focus on this, even when those around them are verbal about their dislike of a given person. We will look to explain their bad behavior, and we will encourage them in their journey of personal development. Stage 2, festering resentment. An INFJ is very aware of the motivations of others, so when someone refuses to engage in self-reflection or continues to make the same errors, the INFJ will grow to resent the pity party and manipulative games. They will still try to look for the best and still try to guide their friend in the right directions. They simply have a lower tolerance for the individual. Stage 3, the door slam. Often a small gesture will break the INFJ and cause them to slam the door. The final straw is often one otherwise harmless encounter, conversation, or even one sentence. At this point, your INFJ will decide that it is no longer investing their limited resources for human interaction with this person. The door slam is often silent, but it will be merciless. Stage 4, the fallout. Ongoing interactions with someone your INFJ has slammed the door on will be harsh. Where they once had the patience, they will now be blatantly intolerant. They will not try to hide this. The INFJ will be offended by everything the person who has received the door slam says and does. They will overreact at times, they will be angry, but it is unlikely that the INFJ will engage in a direct confrontation. They do not think an argument is worth their time. The individual is effectively dead in their eyes. I do not advocate the use of the INFJ door slam as a tactic for resolving issues between two people, but it is sometimes necessary as a form of self-preservation in certain situations. I think it's important for all INFJs who are considering a door slam to first considering setting some new or stronger boundaries in an effort to save their relationship. The INFJ door slam should only be used in extreme cases of chronic emotional abuse, manipulation, or toxicity. If you're an INFJ on the giving side of a door slam, make sure you are not shutting people you care about out of your life simply because you want to avoid conflict. Sometimes slamming the door on a relationship is good for you, sometimes it's not. Knowing the difference is a key to healthy relationships. If you're on the receiving end of an INFJ door slam, know that it's a symptom of a much larger problem in the relationship. Rebuilding the relationship after an INFJ cuts you off is possible, but it's not going to be easy, and it will require lots of honest communication over a period of weeks, months, perhaps even years, depending on what happened. Simply avoid being shut out by an INFJ by being a reasonable human being. They will take a lot from people they love, but eventually it becomes too much. They will only cut out someone for continuous emotional abuse or for abusing someone that they love. If you are kind to an INFJ, they will see no reason to shut you out. They understand perfectly that people make mistakes. They will even be willing to help you resolve your issues. Being honest with an INFJ and trying not to hurt them is all you truly have to do. It takes a great deal for an INFJ to finally door slam someone, meaning that the action is often well deserved. Basically, do not be the world's biggest jerk, and you won't suffer the consequences of the INFJ door slam.